Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears potentially trading for star running back Jonathan Taylor. As in the recent couple of days, Jonathan Taylor trade talks with the Indianapolis Colts have been rising. As on July 17th, over a month ago now, Jonathan Taylor had a meeting with Jim Irsay, Colts owner. He requested a trade. Jim Irsay said he was not going to trade him, and Jonathan Taylor would be on the Indianapolis Colts for the 2023 season. Then, after Jonathan Taylor has not been showing up to preseason, to training camp, and there was some issues with that, and Jonathan Taylor called the Colts liars or something about an ankle injury or something, and just all the drama that's been happening throughout the training camp, and Taylor still having that trade request. The Colts on Monday, 3 days ago, gave permission to Jonathan Taylor to seek a trade and go out there and look for a trade. But there is a Tuesday deadline, which is Tuesday. I can't remember what Tuesday is. I think Tuesday's like the 20th. I think Tuesday's like the 27th. I'm pretty sure Tuesday's like the 27th, or maybe it's Tuesday. I think Tuesday's like the Tuesday's like the 28th or the 29th. So there's like a Tuesday deadline next Tuesday, and I don't know why I spent that much time trying to figure out what Tuesday was. So stupid. But there is a Tuesday deadline for that trade with Jonathan Taylor. And but Jim Irsay, I guess what he's trying to say is that, or what the Colts are trying to say is that if they can't figure out a trade by Tuesday, I guess we're not going to trade him. I guess that's what that means, but it sounds stupid to me because if you keep him, I don't think Jonathan Taylor, if you keep him, if you don't get a trade done with any of the 6 teams that have expressed interest in Jonathan Taylor, I just feel like Jonathan Taylor is not going to play it down for the Indianapolis Colts this season. Obviously, you can revisit those trade talks, later down the road, when the trade deadline comes in October, obviously, of course. But I mean, why would you try to wait for months, because you're not going to be able to get as much, because a team's going to, you're not going to, honestly, I think right now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts would probably get a 3rd or a 2nd round pick with maybe a conditional pick, like a conditional 5th or 6th round pick with Jonathan Taylor as of right now. If you try to trade him at the trade deadline, honestly, I feel like they would get like a 4th and a 7th round pick, maybe a 5th and a 7th round, maybe like a 5th and a 6th rounder for Jonathan Taylor. I don't think you're not going to get as much for him as if you wait for, at the trade deadline to potentially move him, because Jonathan Taylor's a free agent. If you try to trade him at the deadline, whoever's acquiring him could only be getting a half a season of Jonathan Taylor compared to a whole season of him right now. So I think if you're going to trade him, it has to be now. And honestly, I don't think he'll play it down for the Colts this season. I don't think he wants to play there anymore. I think ownership and their management has upset him, and he wants to go elsewhere. So I don't think he'll play down for the Colts this season. And I think the Bears are one of the most intriguing teams that could potentially trade for Jonathan Taylor. There has been 6 teams that have been said that have called the Colts about Jonathan Taylor. The only 3 teams that we know of that have called the Colts are the Broncos, the Bears, and the Dolphins. We don't know who the 3 other teams that have called the Colts about Jonathan Taylor. But the Bears, to add Jonathan Taylor to that offense, that would be spectacular. They already have a solid running back group with Khalil Herbert, and who else did they have? Oh, they have the guy from Carolina, D'Onta Foreman, and also they have Roschon Johnson. They have a solid running group already, a really solid young running back core of, D'Onta Foreman and Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson from Texas that they just drafted in like the 4th or 5th round in last year's draft. Really solid group already. Then to add Jonathan Taylor with those younger guys would just be spectacular. And honestly, I think it would just change the Bears season. Honestly, right now, the Bears are a team I see winning 7 to 9 ball games this season. I think it could, it just depends on how they play, how the O-line protects Justin, how Justin does in general as well. But honestly, you add in Jonathan Taylor's Jonathan Taylor to the Bears and he stays healthy, I honestly think the Bears, not only do they win the division, not only do they win the NFC North, but I also see the Bears winning like 10 to 11 games if they add in Jonathan Taylor, which is a big difference from potentially 7 to 9 games. I think the Bears would be scary because their defense has improved. They added in Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards. They added in some other pieces like Mykal Walker. And they've added in some, Yannick Ngakoue. They've added in a couple other pieces to the defense. The defense has really improved. The offensive line has improved. They drafted Darnell Wright with the 10th overall pick in the draft. Or was it the 8th overall pick in the draft? And then they also signed somebody else. I think it was Nate something. They signed some other offensive tackle. Their offensive line has improved. Their defense has improved, especially the linebacker core and even the defensive line a little bit too. And then the offense has improved a little bit too with Justin going into his 3rd season and, Roschon Johnson, getting added in, D'Onta Foreman being added in, DJ Moore getting added into the offense as well. And then also them adding in a couple tight end veterans from their rival, the Green Bay Packers, signing Mercedes Lewis and the other guy, who's the other guy from Green Bay? I can't think of his name. They signed 2 tight ends from Green Bay, and I'm not gonna remember the other guy's name. But they signed 2 tight ends from Green Bay. They traded for DJ Moore. They drafted Roschon Johnson. They signed D'Onta Foreman. I think they've improved the offense and the offensive line as well. But then to add Jonathan Taylor on top of all that, and then Justin Fields around that whole offense, and then even the defense improving too, I think this Bears team would probably most likely win 10 to 11 games, 9 minimum, with adding in Jonathan Taylor to this Bears offense. I really think the Bears would be a really scary team on offense. I mean, I think they're already a really good team, offensively already, with Justin Fields and then a wide receiver group of Chase Claypool, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and then, him having a couple good tight ends in Cole Kmet and Mercedes Lewis and the other guy they added in from Green Bay, who I still can't remember his name. And then the running back group with Khalil Herbert, D'Onta Foreman, and Roschon Johnson, and the upgraded offensive line room as well. I think that's already a really solid offense, especially around Justin Fields. But then to add in Jonathan Taylor with all of that, I mean, man, I think it would be a special group for the Chicago Bears, and I think they would probably win 9 to 11 games. 9 minimum, but I think they would win 10 to 11 games if they traded for Jonathan Taylor. I think, honestly, I know the Dolphins have been rumored to be the favorites to land Jonathan Taylor in a trade, but honestly, I feel like the Chicago Bears have to be the favorites to land Jonathan Taylor in a trade. But we'll see if it happens. We'll see if anything happens. I mean, it's getting close to Tuesday. It's almost Friday now, so we'll see. They have a couple of days. They have over the weekend and then through Monday and through Tuesday as well to try to, get a Jonathan Taylor trade, whether that's the Bears or that's the Broncos or it's the Dolphins or it's the 3 other teams that we don't know who have expressed interest in Jonathan Taylor. So, yeah, using your thoughts on the potential trade for the Chicago Bears, I think it would be a great move for them to trade for Jonathan Taylor. Using your thoughts, and that's it. Peace out.